It is my great pleasure to introduce Stephen A. Jarislowsky, recipient of a 2021 Carleton University honorary degree. Mr. Jarislowsky has had a significant impact on both Canadian business and philanthropy, particularly in the university sector. He served on some 30 corporate boards of directors and co-founded the Canadian Coalition for Good Governance. For nearly 60 years, he led the growth of Jarislowsky Fraser Limited, which has become one of the largest and most successful investment management firms in Canada. He sold the company to the Bank of Nova Scotia in 2018. He's founded the Jarislowsky Foundation, which has greatly contributed to university research and education. The foundation, based on ethics and excellence, has created more than 34 research chairs at Canadian universities, including the Jarislowsky Chair in Water and Global Health at Carleton University. Mr. Jarislowsky is a companion of the Order of Canada and a Grand Officer de l'Ordre National du Québec. On behalf of everyone at Carleton University, allow me to extend our most sincere congratulations to Dr. Jarislowsky.
Chancellor, presidents, graduating class, students, teachers, and parents, I am delighted to receive an honorary degree from Carleton University. Graduates, you are leaving the university today at an interesting time. For more than a year, the world has now been fighting a war against COVID-19. However, now, due to the discovery of the vaccines, we can finally begin to see an end to this pandemic. I graduated after a war, just like today. The economy I faced in 1946, when we servicemen returned home, was at a low point. We had to make a difficult transition from war to peace. Still, although we lived through uncertain periods, my generation was pushed upward by strong tailwinds. Today, contrary to that time, when I graduated in 49, the world still faces other major non-economic problems. In addition to the pandemic, there's polarization worldwide between democracy and dictatorship, the latter more absolute than ever as a result of new scientific discoveries in communications and in weapons, which touch all nations of the earth. In the USA, in excess of 70 million people will support Donald Trump, even after a 4-year stream of lies on his part. This, to say the least, is alarming. The absolute control in China of the entire population by its leaders, as well as the oppression by dictatorial regimes in such other nations like Russia, Venezuela, and Turkey, also represent major threats to our freedoms and democracy worldwide. On top of all this, there's the very real threat of climate change, a threat to all humankind. Despite being almost universally recognized, global warming today continues to accelerate because we do not have the leadership in Ottawa, nor do we have the leadership in other countries. So these are challenging times, and because of your place in history, you bear on your shoulders great responsibility, perhaps greater than most generations inherited in the past. The issues are ones that you must resolve in your time, because there is no time to wait for the generation after you. At my age, 95, my role can only be as a mentor to you. And so I will tell you of the two great principles I have followed throughout my entire career and my life, and which have proved to be solid foundations for achieving the aims which I set for myself. The first principle is very simple. You must learn how to think for yourself, and you must learn how to understand things for yourself. When I returned from World War II, where I served in the US forces in the Far East, I wrote an essay to myself after of the war experience and after everything else that had occurred in my life in order to try to give myself purpose and direction. I must think on my own. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am, a line from the philosopher Descartes. No one can think for you, I wrote, and only you, in fact, can arrive at a correct understanding how to act and build your own life. If I had relied only on my own thinking, I would have been sent to Europe as an infantry soldier and possibly died at the front. Education is the key to everything. I had an engineering degree at that time before joining the army, and I added an MA in Far Eastern culture as well as an MBA at Harvard before starting on my life career. However, a degree is only a start to life. To succeed, you must keep thinking and you must keep educating yourself at the same time to make the right decisions. My second principle, which I established, was to live an ethical life at all costs. Ethics is the basis nearly of all religions. So if each of us simply embraced ethics, there would be no need for much else in the relationship between people. And there would be no need for war, least of all a religious war, because every religion has ethics. My guide was the Greek philosopher Aristotle in this case, and his text, the Nicomachean Ethics. If you read it and live by those ethics, you will find that you will have compassion, you will be truthful, you will live a disciplined life and a thoughtful life, you will help others, and you grow into someone whom other people can trust. In addition, you won't need to think twice, and your conscience will always be clear. You don't have to double think. You will set an example for others and always retain your own self-respect. These are essential things in our difficult times. No matter how different we are, we must be able to trust each other and rely on one another thinking to do the right thing. So my simple message to you as you graduate today and step into the world is to become the generation that looks forward. You must learn to think for that and to base your life on the behavior by being an ethical person. With these qualities, also you should become an activist. The world is not anymore a world only of thinking. The world is one of understanding and execution. Create a better life for those around you and for those who will come after you. You will face a difficult world, I said. We see that clearly, but I'm sure you're capable of making it a much better world. Just think clearly about what you want to achieve. Perhaps even, like myself, write a letter to yourself, as I did at your age, and then always be guided by the ethics and work towards success.